Hey there, Sharam just chilling in bed because that's where his charger is and he needed his iPad in order to answer today's question. Oh boy. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sifin? Safin? Uh, First of all, I get it. Sharam. Is that hard to pronounce? No. But will people struggle? Yes. My last name is Namdarian. I sometimes get letters addressed to Mandarin. Alright, so here's the question. How can we recognize... Now, I'm going to read the whole question out, then I'm going to do ye olde breakdown. How can we recognize whether others' behaviors is a reflection of themselves or reaction in response to our mistakes? Now, I don't know too much about the situation, so, as always, I will do my best, but there's a lot of things here. There's a lot of things that Sefen, I'm going to say Sefen from now on. I hope that's right, and if not, please tell me otherwise. There's a lot of things that you share here that really are indicative of your emotional landscape right now. And truth be told, it's our emotional landscape, especially in relationships, that dictates what happens. So let's break it down slowly. How can we recognize whether others' behavior is a reflection of themselves 100% of the time, or a reaction in response to our mistakes? For the purposes of answering this question, I'm going to change the word to our mistakes to us, because that's a very key distinction. So how can we recognize if the other person's behavior is a reflection of themselves or a reflection of us? Both. That's the painful answer. It's both. And it's both, and it's both, and it's both, and it always will be both. It'll always be a reflection of them, and it'll always be a reflection of you. Why is that the case? Well, they are themselves, and you are you. Just like you interact with two people in two different ways, you might tell secrets to one person, you might trust one person, you might not trust another person. This person, your partner or whoever this person is, will always treat you uniquely to how they treat to someone else. So how do you recognize which one it is? It's motherfucking both. That's the thing people don't get. But here's the thing. Once you accept that it's both, then you give your minds the ability to recognize where the line is where. Because here you are saying, or a reflection in response to our mistakes. So I'm here assuming that you either have done something wrong or you're a chronic panicker, so you think that you have done some mistakes. You got to forgive yourself. Jesus fucking Christ. You have to learn to forgive yourself. And I say this, like, how do you forgive yourself? Well, first and foremost, surrender to the fact that you think you have made some mistakes. That feeling where you're like, oh, I did something wrong. Let yourself fully feel it. You are punishing yourself through your partner because you are not letting yourself fully feel these emotions. That's what we do. We punish ourselves through the world. And other people will help us feel punished. So how can you recognize whether a person's behavior is a reflection of themselves or in response to us? What people ask is, when they ask a question like this, what they're looking for is like a XYZ. Like, oh, their eyes are like this, and they're like, oh. Like they make like, what are the signs? But because the answer is both, the signs aren't going to be so clear. You will be able to tell. You will develop a higher acumen towards this once you accept that it's a reflection of you and a reflection of them. Because you'll be able to see when they are either projecting on you, because that's what people do. They either project on you, meaning that they deal with their insecurities through you. They will either, be annoyed by you because of something you've done, or it's just a response because maybe they've got their standards. Now, as always, as more information would actually help me more answer a question like this, but in response to our mistakes, I'm assuming you've done something wrong here. And I do this wrong thing because you humans, not including me, because I am not human. No, I'm human too. Shock, horror. We're quick to blame. We are so full of blame that we blame other people. We blame ourselves. We have this magnitude towards it, this emotional magnitude that can only be described as weird attachment to blame. We don't want to be blamed because we don't want to be hurt. But once you surrender to pain and surrender to the feeling of feeling hurt, because like life does that. Life will either force you to do it unless you do it yourself. That's why we are conscious creators of this. But unless you surrender to that and realize that these things, we are afraid of someone else thinking badly of us, or we're afraid of being disappointed, or we're afraid of disappointing ourselves, truth be told. Once you realize that that's the shit, like, and you do that through surrender, so you do that through a deep recognition of what's going on, you start to realize, and this is something that is, I shouldn't be saying online, but I'm going to anyway, that there are no real mistakes. You can hurt people. You can be hurt. But in the name, if your heart is in the right place, everything becomes a learning experience, and that's worth recognizing. It's worth recognizing to forgive yourself over, to be kinder to yourself. When you are kinder to yourself, you immediately communicate to other people that they should be kinder to you. Now, we've all got our junk. We all have our emotional junk. You know, you've got yours. This person that you're talking about has got theirs. The clearer of mind you are, you will develop a sixth sense. I once heard one of my friends call it witch sight. I love that. I like that name. Witch sight. You develop this clear witch sight towards the situation. Because you are healed and whole, you can tell when someone else is and when someone else isn't. If someone else gets angry at you, you will be able to tell if they are angry at you because of you or angry at you because of them. Because they are just full of angriness. But it won't matter. Instead of wondering where the line is, another way to look at it is to just do two things. You validate how you feel, and you validate how they feel. You validate how you feel by saying, hey, I feel accused. You validate how they feel, because if you don't, they will have to. If they think you did the problem, you made the mistake, and you don't recognize that they feel that, even though that might not be true, they'll back themselves up. It's like people being in a corner. It's like you telling them that they're wrong. So it's worth validating how other people feel. If they are angry at you, you don't always have to take it. You don't always have to listen. You don't always have to be beaten up by their response or their perspective. But you cannot invalidate it, because from their world, it is true. Now, I don't know if this helps, because I'm doing my best based on the information that I have in that question. Tomorrow's video is going to be about how I lost 3 kilos this week through surrender, and how I'm going to be losing more. I was originally trying to pioneer this thing about weight loss via meditation. I haven't created it per se, but I realized that using surrender I can, so I'm going to be, I've been working on that for a while now in myself, and there's going to be a video about that tomorrow. So if you are new to this channel, what is surrender? Surrender is the amazing process of allowing yourself to feel your emotions. I surrender to feeling great. Thank you so much. Have a good day.